Hey, hey, hey. I'm just tapping in with y'all today. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day for those who celebrate and those who don't. Picking in with y'all today. I thought I would come in and just vibe out today. I have not been on live since January. I think my last live, I went on live with Scar, but we haven't been doing any lives together. And I'm okay with that. I haven't spoken to him since our last live. I said, I don't know if I offended the man or what, or if that was just God just giving me, a lesson at the time, or I wouldn't even say a lesson. I would just say more like allowing me to use my voice um on this platform and just, share more of my truth, talk to the people, connect with the people. We were doing a relationship podcast, but that done failed and went away. And I am okay with that. I'm okay with that. I think sometimes, certain things in your life is just a season. And it seems like whatever we were doing with that sink or swim podcast was just a season for us. I guess I haven't spoken to him. So I was like, I don't know if it was me saying the devil knows the Bible just as well as God. I don't know if it was that comment or something else I offended him with, but I said, oh well, here we are, here we are. But yeah, I don't really have much today. I just wanted to come on and vibe out with y'all, especially for my singles who may be staying in, maybe not feeling, the love at all today. I just want to send everybody love. Love and light energy. I know sometimes like um if you are in your single season, you may feel alone, lonely. But you also may feel, more close to yourself, like you're getting to know yourself more. You're doing the things that you enjoy, you're actually prioritizing yourself. So that's actually what I really wanted to promote today is just like if you are single and you don't have anybody to share your time with, try to learn yourself a little bit better. And if you don't meditate, if you feel called to it, I would recommend that. Just so you could try to, go within more, try to learn who you are. Go in with the question of who am I? And the things that come to you, you'll begin to learn a little bit more about yourself and learn how to actually sit with yourself. Um, and not feel that discomfort. Like some people don't feel good when they're by themselves because they're they don't even enjoy their own company. So that would be something that I would just recommend if you are single and you're looking for something to do on this Valentine's Day evening. Just celebrate yourself, celebrate your wins, celebrate your victories, um, celebrate those relationships that didn't work out, because they may have been for your greater good, even though you may not see it now. It may just be, something that was for a season for you. And it's okay when relationships don't work out. It's okay when situationships don't work out, you know. Rejection is always your protection. So don't ever feel like just because somebody rejected you that is something wrong with you. It could be God protecting you from whatever that relationship would have been for you or the destruction that may have come with it. So I always say, like, don't be mad about a relationship ending. Do not be mad about it because I have had plenty of relationships that have ended. And, I'm not going to front and say, and I'm glad that they over. Like, no, like, there were relationships that I really wanted to actually, like, see, where they went. Um, but sometimes curiosity can kill a cat, right? So, um, I don't necessarily have those same, curious thoughts any longer, but it's certainly something that I can identify with if you are there where you may have had a relationship in and you're still trying to figure out like why did this relationship end? Why, what was it about this relationship? Or you have those like situations where it's like a false start where it feels like, dang, it feels like I can connect with this person, but then it ends. And you don't know why. But like I said, sometimes those are just really those situations are really for your own protection. The ending is a new beginning for you. So if you are alone on this Valentine's Day evening, it is okay. I'm gonna just sit here and vibe out with y'all and be on this live and chatting it up and talking about a whole bunch of nothing and a whole bunch of something. So if you want to kick it with me, you want to vibe with me, I am open to that. I'm gonna put on some music for us just so we can listen to something to vibe out to on this Valentine's Day evening. Um, one thing that happened to me today, y'all. So today is my baby girl's birthday. So she just turned 9 today. And so Valentine's Day for me had since I've had her, it's always just like her birthday. Like I don't even see it as a holiday, to be honest. I don't that's just, and I don't have a significant other either, so it's not a holiday for me. But I took her to like this like indoor trampoline place and I had rented one of those little lockers and I put my purse in there, my wallet was in there, and I had to go back in at one point, take my wallet out, put it back in. I leave out the place. We go home and then we have to run back out to the store. As soon as I realized that my wallet was gone, I got a phone call from the indoor trampoline place. And they were like, Miss so and so. And I said, I know exactly the number that like it was an unrecognized number, like I didn't know it, but the number pops up and I'm like, I know this is, such and such place, like you got my wallet, right? And they were like, yes, we have your wallet. And so I went there. Everything was in my wallet. Everything, like nothing was missing out of my wallet. And the crazy part was I had two cards. Like I had my Cash App card and my regular banking card. And I took those out earlier in the day and I put them in my pocket. And the wallet, it still had my other personal items in there, but it didn't have, like the main cards. But either way, I got my entire wallet back with everything that belonged to me in there. And it really like that happening when I tell y'all, and I hope I don't get emotional, but I probably will. But when I tell y'all, like my faith on this journey, our faith, we can lose faith so easily. The journey of life, we can lose faith so easily, and it feels like my faith has been tested like so much over this last year. When I say so much, like it, y'all. Y'all don't understand. Like I have when they say the trials and tribulations, the trials have been tribulating, okay? And I try to take everything in stride and it's just like, dang. You know how they say like whack-a-mole, right? That game where you knock one thing down and then something else pop back up. That has been, I would say, the good part of the last about 2.5 years. But this last year, it was like just culmination. And um mm-mm. No, I'm online. I'm online. Make sure you don't leave your friends behind, okay? Yeah. So this last year, it has just been like trial after trial after trial. And I'm like, I don't know what God's trying to do in my life right now, but I'm like, this the same God that I've known for years. He don't where he at? I was in the wilderness, but in a good way. In a good way, like, well, I ain't gonna say in a good way because it hasn't felt good. It hasn't felt good. But um, being in the wilderness um is definitely something that I feel like we all encounter on this journey we call life. Times where you feel alone, times where you feel like ain't nobody there for you, or people are there for you, but it's like, you know, they going through their own thing. We can't just, I'm not looking to be saved or anything like that. But sometimes it's just like, you know, things just pile up and pile up. Like, I couldn't believe it. So I felt like me losing that wallet today, well, I'll say leaving it behind and then being able to get it and nothing was taken was like just a huge testament that one, there still are people, good people out there. There's still honest people. There's still people who will look out for you, who and God is protecting you in all of this too, right? So, like placing that person who actually found my wallet and it being that person that found it, as opposed to somebody else who may have taken it home and tried to use the other cards that were in there. Um, like that was a huge blessing. And so I'm just, here trying to give you some hope, share some light, try to remind you to, even when you are going through hard times, just try to like hold on to those little things that count, because little things can go a long way and make a big difference in your life. Like for I'm telling y'all, I was this close, like I was at the edge. You know what I mean? Like I was really at the edge. And me being able to go back and get that wallet and nobody took anything out of it, that was a huge blessing for me. And I remember like when I first started my journey, um, my spiritual journey, it was like everything was a blessing, like in the beginning. And I don't want to say like God be trying to hook you in so that you can hold on, but that's how I be feeling. At least that's just, have that has been my experience, okay? And so like I felt like, hey, Shanae, it's good to see you. Happy Valentine's. I said, let me come on here. I was just kind of telling a little story about what happened. So I hope you stick around, Shanae, for the story I gotta tell about my wallet because I was at this place where I was like really, really, thank you, losing faith. And that right back at you. I was really losing my faith and it felt like, I had been tested so much that like the trial and I was like the trials was just tribulating. Like everything just kept happening all at once. And I was like, I knocked one thing down and something else come pop back up. So today is my daughter's birthday and she's 9. So we went to like an indoor trampoline park and I put like our personal belongings in like one of those little lockers and I went and I went back into the locker, took my wallet out because I had to get something for the kids, and then put the wallet back in, but didn't put it back in my purse. So when we were leaving, I left my wallet behind. And I didn't even realize that I left it behind until we got to the grocery store later on. And I was like, oh my God. And as soon as I said, oh my God, My phone rang. Hey, happy Valentine's Day, Breezy. Thank you so much, Callie. Callie in the house. I'm in the DMV. And thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you coming in and sticking around with me. I said I'm just coming in for the girlies. I am a single woman, so I'm trying to, encourage my singles as well, to stay encouraged on this day. If it's something that you normally would celebrate with a partner. But so Shanae, if you're still here, okay. So check it out. So I'm at the grocery store. I realized as soon as I realized that my wallet is not in my purse, my phone rang, and I was like, the number wasn't saved, right? Oh, you went okay. You love Cali, yeah, girl. I love Cali too. Now that's my kind of weather, like Southern California. Yes, very much so. Um, I definitely want to have in my mind, in my rich mind, okay? Not in my reality, but in my rich mind, I have a vacation home somewhere in California. Um, but so anyway, right, I get to the grocery store, I realize I don't got this wallet. As soon as I realize this, I get a phone call and I'm like, "Oh, I know this is the jump place. Y'all got my wallet, right?" And they're like, "Yes, yes, come back." Come get your wallet. I get there. When I tell y'all nothing was missing from my wallet, I flipped that thing upside down, turned it all around. Nothing was missing out of there. And for me, it was like that needed to happen because normally I have real good, like, listen, it was very much a blessing. And I have pretty good intuition, like, or I'll get like a feeling that okay, something ain't right, but I didn't get that feeling, and I feel like I didn't get that feeling because I really needed to hit, like, I needed that experience to restore my faith. Like my faith in humanity, my faith in God, my faith just overall, like, because so much has happened in these like last 2.5 years that I'm like, I don't know how much more I can take. Like, God, are you listening? You know? So I feel like I needed that to like really like be like, okay, no, there's still good people out there. God is still watching out and protecting you. You know what I mean? So I needed that, y'all. And I'm gonna say, for anybody else out there who is like battling, with their faith, like I know it's not easy. It's not easy, especially like when you're going through a lot. Um, but if you could just maintain that little mustard seed, like a mustard seed is smaller than a crumb, okay? If you can maintain that mustard seed of faith, like just pour some water on it, pray on it, you know, really like just hold on to it because something will happen to allow you to see that things can turn around for you for sure. And Shanae, I was saying that I haven't been doing the lives, like I don't know if you were on my last live that I had with Scar, but that was in sometime like in mid January. And I don't know what I said or did to the man, but I haven't spoken to him since that last live. And I don't even have no like no beef. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no beef on my side with him. I think, yeah, like I just think whatever it was, like whatever that time was, I felt like I also needed that too. Because and I don't feel like me even speaking on this is no slight on him or talking behind his back, because I would definitely tell him this as well. But I do feel like just in our exchanges, I learned a lot. And I learned how to temper my own emotions, um, in our conversations because, he could be a little salacious at times. And so it taught me more about myself. There was a lot of like mirrored things that I saw there. You know what I mean? There were. things like, ooh, even though I may like, let's say, you may have a behavior, right, that you exhibit in your exchanges with people, right, in your communication style, but it may be a little subtle. But I noticed in our exchange it was more exaggerated, and I felt like it was exaggerated to allow me to see, like, okay, this is something that you also need to work on. Does that make sense? So for me, it was a lot of it was like a learning, exchange with us. And the funny thing is, when I tell you no lie, Shanae, I did a removal prayer after that line. And it wasn't necessarily directed at him. It was just directed at whoever, was in my life that I didn't need to have contact with any longer, like that wasn't coming to the next stage and phase with me, to remove them. And when I say I haven't spoken to I haven't spoken to him since the line. But it wasn't just him, it was other people as well. But I'm okay with that, like, I feel free, you know. I will say I feel free. I think this is gonna be a time for me to also revamp, what I'm doing over here. Yeah, exactly. It's interesting. But yeah, it's gonna be a time for me to revamp what I'm doing over here. I love doing the dream interpretations with my brother, but I know he is very, very busy. Um, he's taking on an extra class right now. He's a world jujitsu fighter as well. And so he'd be busy. So I didn't think that that's something that we may be able to do like regularly like we were in the past. Um, but I always welcome him back. You know, like that's my blood brother, Isaiah. So he's somebody that, you know, we was definitely in the playpens and packing plays together. Like that. That's my blood brother. Oh, you never seen him on my live? So we did lives together. I believe it was like spring going into the summer. And then midsummer he picked up a class, and like I said, he also travels for his jujitsu competition. So we didn't get back to it. But there's something else I'm working with him on that I think I had told you about the book that I did. And so we're doing another project together, literary project together. But um yeah, so those are the things I'm working on. I'll be here just kind of allowing you guys to get to know me a little bit more, trying to be a little bit more vulnerable. And I think I may have to move from TikTok over to YouTube though, because of all the like new rules with TikTok in terms of like your content that you post. Um they pretty much own everything over here. So, you know, I want to make sure. You Yeah, I mean, it was cool. Like, like I said, I learned a lot. My patience, definitely I have grown in patience. I'll say that. And that was something that I wanted to work on too. Like I really wanted to work on being more patient, not not quick tempered, not as quick to speak, right? Two ears, one mouth for a reason. Um, so I feel like, it's still an area of opportunity, don't get me wrong. But I do feel like at least from our exchanges that we had on here, I was able to grow in that area for sure. But I'm gonna tell y'all now, it is no love lost on my part. Okay? Ain't no love lost on my part. It was just so funny how we had that live, and it was very colorful. It was um because it was a strong difference of opinion. Yes, exactly. Yeah, we had a strong difference of opinion, but I didn't feel like it was to a point where we wouldn't, we would no longer have any communication. But everybody, to each their own. Like I've walked away from, connections. People have walked, hey, Sheikah. People have walked away from me, you know what I mean, and our connection. So whatever you feel called to in your life and whatever you feel like you need for your soul's purpose in that moment is for you. I have no qualms with anybody, to be honest with you. Like I just feel like this is all a learning journey for us. But what y'all doing tonight? Anybody doing anything special? Sheikah, I was telling them, I'm like, I don't have no significant other, so I'm just doing something for the girlies today. Galentine's, whatever you want to call this, chit chat. If anybody want to come up, and talk, I'm open to that as well because I will be home playing a little music in the background. But yeah, I was talking about Sheikah. I was talking about girl. I left my wallet at this indoor trampoline place, and by the grace of God, they called me and they had my wallet, and I picked it up, and everything was in it. So I was talking about how that act really restored my faith, to be honest, because I've been really struggling with my faith. Like I would say these last ain't nothing wrong with being single, okay? Ain't nothing wrong with being single. But would y'all say that like when you first got out of whatever like last relationship you were in? Yes, definitely God. Everything was and nothing was missing, y'all. I turned that thing around and around, upside down, nothing was missing. Um, but when y'all first came out of whatever relationships you guys were in and you were newly single, did you feel like you were missing something, or did you feel like it was like freedom for you? Shanae said, I felt free. I ain't mad at it. Listen, listen. I've been on both sides of the spectrum, though. I ain't gonna lie. I've been on both sides of like when I left the marriage, because I was with my ex-husband. So we met in 2005, married, and when we met, we were like 19, so that was pretty young. I was so emotionally not there that I was, yes. I was yeah, yeah. And it's crazy because you do go through this like whirlwind of emotions, right? Like because I do feel like mentally we tend to leave that relationship well before it actually is over physically, right? Like we as women tend to be like, I'm out, like mentally. We already planning, okay. So Keisha, she got the boyfriend who got the pickup truck, so we could use that pickup. Like we planning our escape. we already we already have everything in our mind, like, and we putting our little monies to the side. I'm gonna have to call the gas and electric people. We getting it together um mentally. But once you actually leave and you're gone, then that's when like everything else catches up. I'm a whole apartment for day one ex and stuff. You wasn't playing. Your whole apartment, friend. Shit. I'm bad. Listen. I don't blame you because you got to do that. You have to make sure that you're also going to be okay, right? And we look at, look, what can I afford by myself where I won't need, you know what I mean? Like you won't need that extra income. So we definitely do that. But once we like get to that space where you're like actually physically no longer together, then like everything else sort of catches up at that time. Cause you're like in survival mode, in the okay, what do I need to do to leave part? He helped you move? Look, remember when you gave me that money to get my nails done? Yeah. I just put some press-ons on. Listen. Yep. We be gone for months, sometimes years. Be gone for years mentally. And just living on autopilot. That's crazy. But has anybody brave enough to say if they have ever like been left? Like, did anybody? And listen, like I said, brave enough. So if you don't want to talk about it, it's okay. But has anybody ever been left? Like somebody actually left you, and how did you handle that? I would say for I'm gonna be brave and say this. I won't say that I was like I've never been through that. Okay. Do you all right, so do you feel like you would respond any differently if you've been left? I'll say this, I have been ghosted before. But that wasn't like we were living together or anything like that. So that's different, you know. But to be left like if y'all living together and you come home and you see half the closet empty, all the shoes gone, everything. Yes, never thought of that. Right, like, when you think about the hurt, like, listen, forget about what they did, right? But just to think about the emotional part. Yeah, it would be hurtful. Okay, she could have only been in 2 relationships. I met my ex in high school and we were married for 20 years. 20 years. First of all, high school. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, if you weren't prepared, like if you were just like you never saw it coming, you felt blindsided. I do want to ask, did your partner feel blindsided when that happened, Shanae? And then for you, Sheikah, 2 relationships, and then one you met in high school and y'all were married for 20 years. Oh my God, that's a lifetime. That's definitely a lifetime. So did you feel ready? Because like I'm sure it felt like a death. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels like you're mourning, a party, like a huge part of your life. Okay. Okay, y'all discussed it prior. That's good, Sheikah. I mean, Shanae, sorry. But for you, Sheikah, did it feel like a death? I know mine felt like a death. Like, and it wasn't like I was mourning um, because it was horrible, right? Like towards the end, it got really, really bad. But it was just like, we did have a friendship once upon a time, right? Yeah, the identity. Yeah, the identity changes. But I would even say that too for like being with someone since high school and how many different like how many times you reinvent yourself from there, like in the 20-year span. He both of you probably got to know very different people throughout that relationship. And and I don't want to sound biased when I say this, but I do feel like oftentimes men are kind of creatures of habit. And so a lot of times they may not mature as quickly, as we do. Yeah, yeah, definitely have to get to know yourself. Um, what things would you say like you discovered about yourself? Like, and you don't have to get too deep, but like, oh, I didn't even realize that I like painting, but I never did that when we were together. Like something small like that. It don't have to be deep. I would definitely say like I tapped into like my creativity for sure. Um, okay. And that's good. You can never stop learning who you are. Never stop learning who you are. But yeah, I tapped into my creativity. Like I just started writing and I didn't even know that I could draw. Like and I started drawing and I haven't done any painting or anything like that, but I definitely love to draw. And I've always been an avid reader. And so I took the time to actually tap into writing, and I love that now for sure. So I don't know. I think like as a single, um, those are the things that like really bring comfort to us as well. Like just taking that time to actually date yourself, learn who you are, um, try new things and try the things that, you know, a lot of men are like, I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like doing that. But at least you could do it by yourself and you don't have to worry about nobody else complaining along the way, you know. That I could make it. Yeah. So there was one thing he said, oh, I can't stand when people do that. Like, you don't have to hold me hostage by trying to tell me all the things that you can do for me just because you're there. Like, no, we've been surviving for centuries without, you know what I'm saying? As a people, you know? Mm-mm. And then it's like, did you really do those things from the heart space, or was it to um have some dominance over me? You know what I mean? Mm-mm. Yeah. Like I remember, even with my ex-husband, he was like, um, he was like, oh, nobody would want you with 3 kids. Like, and well, guess what? I don't want you. And you got 3 kids. Even though those 3 kids are mine as well. But you get what I'm saying. He was 28 and I was 18. Ah, yep, definitely. And we thought like back then, right? Like when you would date someone older, it was, I'll speak for myself. I don't want to speak for you, Shika, because I'm not saying that this is your experience, but I thought like dating someone older at the time when I did date older guys, it was like, oh, the guys my age are mature. I can learn something from, an older guy, and I need someone who can actually teach me something. No, a lot of them just weren't actually mature enough to date the women that were their age, and so they would go lower. Mm, yeah. Oh wait, yours. So Shanae, he was 12 years older. Mm, 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 mm. I'm telling you. But look at y'all thriving. Yeah. Right, you be over there like, he want me. Thinking you like, girl, you ain't realize you was put in the trick bag because he knew them older women was gonna tell him about himself. Hmm. Yep, I'm telling you. But yeah, and now you know, like, no, I cannot be bought, I cannot be controlled, and if I ever want to entertain somebody in the future, it would just be because I want to do that and not because I need it. You know what I mean? Like, I think some people feel like they actually need a relationship. Um, and I'll say when I felt like I needed a relationship, there were a lot of things that I needed to work out within myself, whether it was just my sometimes I could be selfish. Like, I can admit that. Like, sometimes I could be selfish. It was what I wanted. You know what I mean? Um, and just lacking maturity, just not being considerate, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of reasons why I felt like, oh, a relationship was what I needed. Um, until I got to learn myself and I was like, oh, baby girl, no, what you need is to do some shadow work. You need to get yourself together. you know. And so if you can't tell yourself the truth, mm, yeah, I was seeing those sides of myself that I was like, this ain't right. I don't like that. Mm-mm. I'm glad y'all hanging out with me tonight, talking relationships. Well, not really relationships. We're just talking about our freedom from relationships. But y'all, okay, so a little bit of an aside, um, different kind of note. So earlier, well, what's this? The middle of February. So at the start of the year, wait, you said, I will say I learned so much. That relationship was the start of my way. Yes. I would say relationships taught me a whole lot about myself, like a whole lot. And then even like when we start, well, at least I'll say for when I started listening to Coach G, and he was talking about the masculine and the feminine parts of us, and it just kind of opened my eyes to a lot of the things, like especially when he talked about, do you do things by nature or nurture? Um, when it comes to like the catering thing. I remember that conversation. I don't know if y'all heard that one. Um, but I recognized that it was like my people pleasing that made me cater to the men that I, had been in relationships with. Hmm. Yep. You said you started seeing a trend. Yep. And you got to recognize those patterns. Like, because if you don't recognize your pattern, it's just going to keep repeating and repeating and repeating. Yeah. Family and friends too. I thought I saw my homegirl come in here, but I don't know if she stuck around. But if you in here, say hey. But she said she heard someone say your throat chakra isn't blocked. It's just that you haven't told your mother what you really wanted to say. And I was like, when I say that throat punch came, ooh, boy. And if you know anything about Caribbean families, it's like you can't say nothing, like any kind of expression of how you feel about something is just downright disrespect in their eyes. Um, but they don't notice, right? With speak about patterns, they don't. recognize that their pattern of behavior that they modeled for you is the reason why you act the way that you do. So, yeah, that's something I've been working through, like being more, just being honest, like even with my mom, or setting those boundaries and being like, no, I'm not going to do that. Or no, I can't do that today. Or no, I'm not going to do that at all, you know? Um, and that took a lot. It's taking a lot, I'll say, because it's still something I'm working through with her as well. So the boundary setting. Mhm. And y'all let me know if this music is too loud. I'm trying to turn it down a little bit. But yeah, that's definitely like the boundary setting when it comes to friends, family. Oh, you don't? Okay, good. Um, when it comes to friends, family, associates, business, like even at work, I had to get right with this. Like, I know how to be real nice, nasty, professional. Like, if y'all ever need some help with that, reach out to me. Yeah, especially when I tell you this, man. So for me, it's never two wrongs make a right. If somebody else is wrong and you getting right wrong with them, y'all both wrong. I don't care. And so, like, we're in this big meeting, and these two people, they both wrong going at it. So one is supervised by one person, and I'm supervising the other person, and I just checked the person who I supervised because the other person was checked by their supervisor. And he started cursing at me. I said, "Oh, oh no, no, no. You're not gonna disrespect me. You're not gonna speak to me that way. Um, this is a professional environment and I expect professionalism in this environment." So even at work, I did a corrective action on him and all of that. Because I'm not gonna stand for it. Yeah, you say you're finding your voice more than ever now, and people are so shocked. Shanae, they mad as hell. They mad as hell, like who she thinks she is. Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna get right with you. And I don't have to get nasty to get right with you either. Mm-mm. No. I could still maintain my decorum and still be on your ass at the same time. Mm-mm. No. But I'm not going for it. Like, I'm not going for it because I've done it way too much. Like, boundaries will do that. Yeah. And people be mad. Like, why are you mad that I'm following my boundary and I'm setting one for you? You know? And the worst thing you can do is disrespect your own boundary. I'll say that, like, I had to learn that too on this journey, y'all. Is if you set a boundary, you damn well better stick to your own boundary. Like, don't deviate, don't make exceptions, and oh well, no, nope. Mm-mm. Your boundaries are supposed to keep you in check too, so that you don't got get yourself effed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I have myself fucked up. Like, no, mm-mm. Maintain your own boundaries too. Yeah, and respect other people for sure. Because when people see that you are respecting their boundary, they'll be a little more inclined to respect yours. Being one way across the board has helped. I don't care who it is. I'm one way. I love that. I love that. Yeah. And you have to be. Yeah. And you like, listen, I'm not gonna be impartial for nobody because I'm telling y'all, anytime that I have like um deviated or made an exception, that shit came to bite me in the behind every time. So it's kind of like it's best that you just, like Shanae said, be one way. Not, and everybody will know what they're gonna get when it comes to you, you know. And listen, it don't matter how many popularity contests are happening. Nobody's ever winning all of them, okay? And you really shouldn't want to, you know. Equal opportunity, fair use. You want fairness? Check out my boundaries. Here's the list. I'm telling you. Yep. No BS, y'all. Yeah, I'm with it. I love that for y'all. Definitely. Because we can't keep doing it. We can't keep doing it to ourselves. Every time you make an exception, there's a little piece of you dying. You know what I'm saying? And not in a good way. Like, I do feel like, sometimes it's healthy to have ego deaths, right? Like, while your ego is here and set up to protect you, there's a lot of your ego that is BS. You know what I mean? And it really does need to be checked. But outside of that, if it's not an ego death type of thing, don't make no exceptions for nobody. Mm-mm. No. And what did Coach said? Be kind. Wait, be kind, not nice. Yeah, kindness goes a long way, but a fool is nice. Look, look, we took notes, y'all. We took notes in class, okay? And that's definitely what I've been applying for sure. I would say I've been getting a lot lately, like, oh, my patience. That part. Basically, you've done the real work. Yes, it wasn't. I done did the ugly cry multiple times, like multiple times. And a lot of it is because I've gotten in my own way. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you can really be the one getting in your own way when it comes to like whatever you got to work on, like whatever you're trying to do for yourself, whatever um you're trying to bring in and call into your life. Um, if you're continuing to like bend and you're not disciplined and all of that, you only cheating yourself. So I can't do that no more. I can't. I've done it way too many times. Please don't take me down. Listen, for real. And I'm gonna be completely transparent with y'all. I'm trying to learn like where is God taking me right now? I'm really trying to figure this out. But when I tell y'all, he gave me, and y'all know, I've said this on the other when I was working on the podcast with Scar, like while I have Christian values and morals and principles that I live by, I don't know the Bible as well as, some pastor out there, right? But sometimes a scripture will come to me and I'm like, which I appreciate about it, about that about God is he will bring a word to me that I never even, I'm like, I don't even know this book in the Bible. Well, I don't even know that chapter. But today, he brought, was it, oh my gosh, John 13:7, which talked about like sometimes you don't know what God is doing in your life. And I said, I asked for a word, and that was the word that I got. The word that I got was sometimes you don't know what God is doing in your life. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what you're doing. I guess he told me mind my business. He working on something right now. So I'm gonna just mind my business. But I really appreciated that wallet scenario because that definitely like restored my faith today. So that's where I'm at. Anybody doing anything? I'm doing well, Black Light. Thank you for coming on my live. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I was telling everyone on here that I want to come on and just vibe with you all. It's Valentine's night, and I'm single, and many of the guests on are single as well, and so we're just vibing together for the singles. Yeah, I don't know now, but you'll understand later. Exactly. Yep, I don't know. I don't know, Sheikah. Like one of the things too, y'all. So I was trying to say this earlier, and then I got off track. So my ex-husband and I, we were together from 2005 until 2018, and um, we have 3 kids together. Love child. How are you, sweetie? Yeah, so we were together from 2005 to 2018, and there was abuse and all that kind of stuff in the marriage, and I don't see myself as a victim because I fight and bite back, okay? So, and I don't condone that, but unfortunately, that was my experience. And so, one of the things, unfortunately, good to see you too, love. I'm appreciating you being on here. Um, One of the things that like I can't get past is like when it ended, like that last fight, he literally sat it on me, like in my face. And we have 3 kids together. So we had to do the whole custody thing and everything like that. And I was like, you can't, I feel like that's the worst thing that you could ever do to somebody. Even outside of hitting them. So I just couldn't move past that. And even though like I'll say I wasn't holding it per se against him, but I also never forgot about it. You know what I'm saying? And so um our custody agreement came to like I would have the kids like the Monday through Friday and he would get them on. Sorry y'all, my live pause with the I had to do the puzzle. So he'd get the kids on the weekend. Well, he had exactly. So he had in January he had um a, a medical issue happen like that completely wiped him out, like in a wheelchair now, bed bound, all of this. And I really felt like internally torn. Either he was going to transition out of here, or this is his life now. So because we have 3 kids, so we have a 16-year-old, a 12-year-old, and now my daughter turned 9 today. But the part that I felt torn about was like, this is somebody who did something so disrespectful to you, but at the same time, he's also the father of your children, and you don't want to see them lose their parent. You know what I'm saying? So it was just this like, internal struggle that I was having. Um, yeah, like, you know, I I feel bad that this is current circumstances, but at the same time, you definitely did me very dirty. You know what I'm saying? So that's just honesty. Like I had to be transparent about that. Like, yeah. Um, I would say, how am I feeling now? Still the same. I ain't gonna lie. It's still like the internal struggle. It's still a little bit of an internal struggle because there's a big part of me that also feels like the humility hasn't come in for him, and that's not my job to. That ain't my job to humble nobody. That's God's job, you know. Um, But prior to that his whole health issue happening, we hadn't been speaking anyway. Like, you know, it was down to emails for the kids. Like, it wasn't, you know, no conversations or anything like that. So, I don't know, y'all. But yeah, I was just like, I don't know how to feel about it. I really don't. I don't wish any ill on anybody, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, you feel obligated to help and some. See, that was the part that I had felt torn about, Shanae, which I no longer feel. I don't feel any obligation to do that right now. I don't. Mm-mm. Because you know what? So, is it now your responsibility for him to see the children? Yes. So, I would have to drive them over to his parents' home because they have to care for him now. Like, is that bad? So, yeah, I would have to drive them over there. So, which is what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm gonna take them over there for, well, I'll drop them off and then come and pick them back up. But they're gonna go over there for a few hours. Um, but he had been in the hospital since January, like 5th or 6th, somewhere around there. And then he went to like one of those physical rehab places, and then he just got to their house on Monday. Yeah, yeah. But it was, I mean, to be honest, like that was honestly the best that they could do because he was on, life support, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was pretty bad. But yeah. And I would say, like, when his mom called me to let me know that he was in the hospital, like, I felt overcome with emotions because at the same time, this is someone who I have known since, 2005. So, and then I could feel, for my children, like, and I've lost a father, so I know how that feels. Yeah. Um, Not quite, Shanae. Not quite. Not quite. I would say he definitely loves his children. Um, but there's some areas of opportunity. I'm not going to bash the man and you can get all kick him that while he down on here, right? But I will say that it has been quite a challenge, even for them over the years with him. So yes, yeah. I will say like this just me being funny, right? Like let the current physical health condition aside, y'all. So be love child as he's single. Listen, the relationships he had after me, they smarten up way faster than I did. Thank you, Shanae. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely was like, oh, we out of here. Them girlfriends ain't last long at all. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'll say he has really good parents though. Like they definitely they take care of their grandkids, they spoil them. They say, listen, and I couldn't help it to be honest. Like my heart, I don't know, y'all. My heart, I feel like my heart just set up so different. Cause sometimes I could feel like, like, okay, this person isn't the way that they present themselves. It's that they've been through so much that this is how they present themselves to the world. You know what I'm saying? It's not my job to save them now. Don't get me wrong. It ain't my job to save them, but I can understand the perspective, from somebody who I know is hurting in a different way, you know? Yeah. Yep. Exactly, Janae. Exactly. Because you know what, y'all? Let me tell y'all what happened. So in 2000, it was 2023. I had to like think about it, right? In 2023, in the summertime, I noticed like something was off with him. And I was like, oh, he might be back, to the, I don't even know if you could say it on TikTok, but whatever, right? Alcohol. And I was like, dang, he might be back on that. And then come to find out he did. He was. So what did I do? When I tell y'all, Holy Spirit was on my neck, like, girl, don't you be it getting in other people's business. But I saw how it was impacting the kids because they were starting to see. And then, we were sharing custody or whatever. So I was concerned about their welfare as well. Like, oh gosh, what happens if something happens when they're in care? And so I'm telling you, God was like, no, no, no. And I was like, yes, yes. Like an idiot, right? Like I was like, no, something could happen with the kids. And God just looking at me like, I didn't tell you to go over there and try to help this man. Well, I did. And when I tell you that bit me so far in the ass, like down to the bone pretty much, when I helped because he just became more and more belligerent with me, in our exchanges. And I was like, that's what you get for not listening to God. Like, that's what you get. Why are you mad at him? You can't be mad at him. You were told to leave it alone. And so with this situation, I said, not my responsibility. You have it. Right. I definitely passed the test this time around. I was like, oh, yeah, I failed that first time, but this time I'm not gonna fail that test. No, mm-mm. And that's what we was talking about earlier with the patterns. Uh-uh. No. Mm-mm. So I'm definitely like really looking at my patterns, examining how I move with things, and if I see myself, excuse me, repeating a pattern, I'm exiting. I'm backing out. Like, mm-mm, that's not what you're supposed to do. Mind your business. Tap that hand. So yeah, exactly, Shanae. Mm-mm, I can't. Beloved child, what you doing tonight? Okay. All right, talk about it. You want to come up? And like I said, if anybody want to come up, y'all are more than welcome to. I'm opening. The box is open tonight, so y'all want to come? She said, "No, man." She said, "I'm gonna keep this to myself," and that's cool. Keep it to your chest. That's okay. That's okay. Just as long as you know it's confirmation for you. Yeah. But I'm enjoying. To be honest, y'all, this is the first time that I can say that I'm now enjoying like my singlehood, like really enjoying it, like. Am I going out and partying? No. But am I appreciating like just my own company and being able to kind of do what I want to do and not really being concerned about a relationship? Um, I can say like these last like 9, 10 months I've been there. And I've been single since I didn't want to say I'm enjoying it so much. My friends don't get it. And look, and that's okay. That's okay. Listen, because sometimes, like, and I think it's like how, society at large is set up. Um, you know, they want you to get the marriage and the 2.5 kids and the dog, you know. Um, but I think that we come here to work out other things as well, like, really truly grow in your soul growth, you know? And it doesn't always have to be about being in a relationship. While, like we said earlier, you can learn from relationships. It doesn't always have to be about that. Mm. So can you talk a little bit more about that? You said you think it's your nervous system regulating. Um, like, are you saying in the past you didn't feel like your nervous system was regulated, and so you would seek relationships to try to get that regulated, but realize that it wasn't going to happen? Mm, okay. Yeah. But it sounds like now you have that sense of security and safety. Yeah. Definitely been working on my childhood stuff, y'all. Woo. My stuff be coming up in my dreams. Ugh. I think in the past I overextended and overdid because I didn't fully love it. Yeah. I know exactly what that's like though. Yeah. And what so I'm gonna say this, right? Hmm. And a lot of times when we do that, we get so upset because that same energy is not reciprocated back. It's like it's not reciprocated back. But the biggest part is that nobody's gonna be able to make you happy until you can make your own self happy, you know? Like if you can't be with yourself and enjoy your own company and really have a good time alone, getting somebody to that is they're only going to be your scapegoat every single time. Does that make sense? Like if you're not truly happy within, any little thing that they do is going to feel like it's like you're going to like magnify that thing and be like, he don't know how to take out the trash. Like, is it really that serious? Like my coach said, we are the narcissist. I got so offended, but now I get it. Yes. Yo, so Shanae, did you have the moment when you realized that and you were like crying in the closet like me? Right. It is exhausting. Like, y'all, nobody can teach you about yourself more. Exactly. Nobody can teach you more about yourself than someone who is a narcissist. Like, seriously. Because nothing is ever going to satisfy that person, right? And then you have to reflect back to, like, well, damn, there were times where I was like, I could not be satiated. Like, nothing could satisfy me. You know what I mean? Like, this person did this person did that, and I'm just like, and, and just being unappreciative, right? So sometimes it's more about like seeing those behaviors, so that you can check yourself. you know? Yep, exactly, when you're doing something to receive. Like, have you guys ever truly given an unselfish love? Like, and I'm not talking about, well, I can even say that with kids because even with kids, we can still do the same thing, right? Like, we can expect, like, oh, and Shanae said only to my kid. We can expect like, okay, I'm keeping a roof over your head. I'm doing all of these things, as your mom. Like I'm making sure I'm putting you in the right schools and you in the right activities and you have a well-rounded, social life and da 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 da. And I'm pouring into you and then you mad as hell because they didn't do the damn dishes last night like you told them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's certain things where even we as parents can kind of say, like, well, I did all of this and I'm just expecting this one little thing from you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say I do it. And I definitely have to check myself because I can also see how that can be harmful. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can be really harmful. Yeah, I find myself apologizing to my kid and talking to him a lot so he understands. Exactly. Yeah, I do talk to my son a lot. Like I have my daughters as well. Um, but he's the one, like my girls, like I can have the one conversation. Him, it's like I gotta keep going back. We gotta, we really gotta call. Yes, and he will call you out. Exactly. Just like we love child said, your son calls you out, mine does too. In a minute. And I'll be like, sometimes I'll be wanting to square up with him. But at the same time, he's also showing me, he's highlighting to me those areas within myself that look, hey, you better watch that. You better watch that because you getting getting a little outside the lines, you know. So them boys, I'm telling you, they gonna point it out for sure. And even with my daughters, I leave that open, like that space open too. My oldest, she's very like, and I think I shared that with y'all before. She is on the spectrum, but she's very high functioning. Um, but when those who are on the spectrum um have like they're very rigid, like they like things to be a certain way, and when it falls outside of the lines for them, it doesn't make sense. And so you really have to like explain like, okay, well, sometimes things don't go or they don't always go as planned. And sometimes um we have to be accommodating. You know what I mean? Yeah, so you can relate to that. And a lot of times, like, I'll purposefully make sure that something isn't done the same exact way so that she can get used to change and be adaptable. You know what I'm saying? So that way I'm not like catering too much into that part of her so that she can transmute it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just because that's just how life is. Life is going to be about changing. If I tell him I'm doing something I have to do, or it's yes, because then it goes into like, well, you don't keep your word, you know, and then I don't trust what you're saying. Um, yeah, and kids, they their memory is long, okay? Their memory is long for stuff that they want you to do. It's not so long when you ask them to do the dishes, or you ask them to pick up that piece of paper that they walked by 5 times. But it's definitely long. You told them you was gonna be somewhere, you was gonna do a certain thing. Oh, they remember. Yep. But you gotta love them because they teach you a lot. Oh, so your child is understanding trust. Wow. Yeah. And we are the teachers, like we teach them. if they can actually trust in our word. Um, so I appreciate that for sure. Mhm. Oh, you have a 10-year-old? Oh. Shanae, has your son's voice started to do the little quiver on you yet? Is he getting a little baritone on you? Y'all, the other day, mind y'all, like I said, I'm single. I hear this man voice in my daughter's room. I'm ready to raise hell. It's my son. I was like, I went down them steps so fast, like, who the fuck is in my house? I'm ready. Listen, pick something up. I was like, overnight. Now, granted, I'm gonna tell you this. He was born with a very deep voice. I'm not gonna. There's no mistaking that. Like he had that little rasp to his voice very early, but now it's like Barry White deep, and he's only 12. So I'm like, is it gonna get any deeper? His father's voice is really deep too. So I was like, oh my gosh, this boy got it honest. He got it honest. But he scared the mess out of me that day. I was like, who is that? Who the hell is in here? Shoot, I didn't know what was going on. Yes, not a baby. Mm-mm. And y'all, when I say this boy is, he got the six pack, he got the muscles. I'm like, I don't know what happened. It was like the summer came, and he got swole and this deep, deep voice now over of the past summer, 2025. I'm like, oh, my baby boy. Mm-mm-mm. Well, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get this. Get through this together. I think we can all, kind of hold one another accountable when it comes to the rearing, especially with our sons. We want to be that example for them of a good woman, you know, and a woman that will take accountability and change her actions. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough to just acknowledge something, but you actually have to come through with the change. So, and not temporary change for a week, but real change, you know? And that'd be hard. Like it I think I told y'all. Like, did I tell y'all on here? But anyway, my son, it was like 2 years ago. This boy, and I found it. He didn't give it to me, but y'all, he tore me down in a little. I guess it was supposed to be a little diary note or something he was doing. He was journaling, and he had took the note and threw it on the floor in his bedroom. In his bedroom, like, you gotta clean this stuff up. And all I see is I hate mom. Excuse me? When did we start using that word? And secondly, me? But we talked about it, and I would tell y'all it really did hurt, especially when you really, really love your kid and you're like, dang, well, what did I do for you to feel like that? You know? And like, um, but that had that had to do with we had a dog, actually had gotten him a dog for his birthday. And he was not cleaning behind that damn dog. And um was cleaning behind the dog, and then the dog bit my the youngest, he bit on the hand. Now it was like a puppy bite though, like it was a playful bite, but punctured her hand to the point where it didn't go away. Like that bruise was there for like 3 or 4 months. So, anyway, she was scared of him after that. Yeah, she, yeah, yeah, that would have broke my heart, but I'm happy he found an outlet for express. Exactly. Because to be honest with you, I have taught them how, like, okay, let's try to find healthy ways to get out our emotions. And, even though you may not always want to talk to me because I may feel like the enemy in that moment, but at least try to, do it in a healthy way. Talk to somebody else or write it out. Um, we have a little punching bag thing in the backyard, other ways that he can get it out. Um, but anyway, like with the dog situation, I wound up we talked about it and talked about it and talked about it for 6 months. And then finally I was like, okay, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to give the dog away. And that's all no, no, no. And that's why he hated me. That's why he wrote that note. Um, but the dog, and I understand like a dog is a family member for some people. They feel that way. And wait a minute. Really sad. Oh gosh. They know how to make you feel bad, don't they? Oh, mm, that mom guilt be something else when they try to make you feel bad like that. Mm. But yeah, he definitely told me how he really felt. And he held it against me for a while, y'all. When I tell you that boy, he know how to hold on to something. Okay? Like that's the one that hold a grudge. So maybe, yes, when he's able to actually care for it, because I recognize like when you get a child, a dog, that's your responsibility as a parent, right? And even though it was something that I was like, okay, I want to do this for him, I should have thought it out more. I really should have thought it out more because at the age that he got the dog, he wasn't really going to be able to do that. He was 9. Um, and yeah, mm-mm. That's a little too much responsibility. Maybe when he's a teenager, but not now. Mm-mm. He's 12 now. I'll give him to 14 or 15, something like that. Mm, 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 mm. He used to like that dog would pee in the house, and I'd be like, Jake, clean the pee up. He'd put a paper towel on it, walk away. I'm like, what did you think was supposed to happen after you sopped up the pee on the paper towel? Like that paper towel's not going to put itself in the trash. You got to sanitize. Like, come on. And I said, if I come in this area one more time and see a paper towel on top of pee, I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh my God. But yeah, he had me in a tizzy with that one. Had my feelings all hurt. But with my oldest, it's like because there's a small part where, when children on the spectrum, excuse me, like that filter is like non-existent. Okay. So she done told me about myself plenty of times and went back to life like nothing was happening. Which I appreciate because it's like, okay, you just gonna give me the down and dirty right there. And then, we can hash it out and go on about our business. And the youngest, oh my God, that girl, she has a mind of her own. Like she really is just her own person, like just in the way she expresses herself. And she's just like, yeah, yes. And the biggest thing as parents, as a parent, especially if you have multiple children, right, is actually learning them and learning their style and knowing what actually works for them when it comes to like how you relate to them, how you speak to them, right? Like how you communicate. You have to understand their communication style and how do they receive information best? Like, what's a way that you could say it to them, um, so that they can understand? And, it's not like it's not always about badgering and chastising them, but if you need to correct them, how can you say it to them in a way that they can actually hear it? Not just, oh, I heard what you said, right? But they're listening actively to what you're saying and they're absorbing it. Um, so that's something like it's an art, to be honest. Like I feel like that's an art when you really get to know your child and what's the best communication style. Yes, and y'all are different. And so, Shanae, would you say that with your brothers, your parents or, whoever your caregivers were, did they cater to the different styles of communication with them and like how they reared them? Or did everybody get the same treatment no matter who they were? Because I would say, like, even with my like, yes, with discipline. So everybody got the same discipline. Like, I would say, I learned from seeing my brother getting yo, for real. So, Shanae, are you the youngest? Because oh, y'all got different discipline. Yeah, like, and to be honest, I personally don't see unless like a abusive behavior. I know you can't say certain stuff. Behavior is a no go for me, right? But let's say discipline for you, um, like you might like to read, right? So discipline for you wouldn't be good if they said, well, you got to read, Malcolm X's autobiography and write a summary of it, right? Like that probably wouldn't be considered discipline to you because you like reading. I'm just using that as an example. But let's say it's one of the kids in the house that don't like to read, and that would be their form of discipline. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like learning your kid to know actually what can work for them, but not be abusive either. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that's me too. Like I know my son, he don't want to write nothing. All right, so now you got to go and write me a summary of what happened and what you're gonna do differently and da da da. Like he doesn't like that at all. My daughter, she likes to write. I wouldn't give her something like that. No, this one, I'm gonna take your stuff away that you like. I'm taking it away because you're gonna feel that. My oldest, oh, okay. She's when I tell you she's in cross country, indoor track, outdoor track. Oh, so you're not gonna compete because you don't know how to do whatever, right? And so everybody gets a discipline based on whatever it is I know they're gonna feel. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just think that's something that I feel I learned from how I was reared in terms of like, okay, this is what I want to do differently. Because we all got the same, we all got the same bop bop bop. Everybody got an answer. And I didn't want to do that with my kids. You know what I'm saying? Because just me personally, just me personally. I don't judge nobody else. But what that taught me was that it was okay when I am in a relationship, like, oh, well, sometimes you get mad, you pop up, but you get popped upside the head, or or your man might be abusive to you because I saw that, in my house. You see what I'm saying? So no, we're gonna revamp this thing over here. We're gonna do it differently, which is good, beloved child. Yeah, you gotta handle them how, like what's best for them. But I will say one thing that I appreciate is because I've reared them that way, they do come to me and talk to me about stuff that they're going through. And we can have those, conversations. Whereas I didn't necessarily feel like that was a space that was welcomed when I was a child. Like it was more of the yeah, it was more of the like stay in a child's place. A child should stay in a child's place. Um, so there wasn't very many conversations with adults. Some adults, like some adults who were were teachers, right? Like dropping wisdom. Um, but just in terms of like coming and asking questions and stuff like that, no, that wasn't really welcomed, at least in my nuclear home. My son calls me his oh, that means that's a beautiful relationship that you fostered with him, for him to feel like he can lean on you like that and have those in-depth conversations. So that's a good thing. That's a beautiful thing. Hmm. I'm glad y'all have that relationship. Okay, definitely agree. I used to slow down the talk. Yes, that's good. Yes, I do. I remember. I remember. So it was definitely a good thing with y'all. And look, Sheikah, my kids be saying you be yapping. I don't know if your kid. I don't know how old your kids are. I think your kids are a little bit older than mine. But girl, they say I be yapping. I'm like, don't be telling me I be yapping. When I don't say nothing, that's when you need to be worried. Shoot. But I wouldn't trade it. I was the youngest of three. Yes, I told you that too. Uh, I'm the youngest of three. So I think it was Shanae who said you learn from your siblings. I did too. I learned from my two older brothers what not to do. Cause I was like, I see she like to kick ass. I won't get my ass kicked. Yeah. Not pop us and get it over with. Oh my God. That is hilarious. Well, kids be so funny though. Jose, are you here to stay? How you doing? Having fun. Oh, show. And listen, my middle brother, he was the beloved child, the brother you've met, Isaiah. He is like he's always been that like outspoken, like just free. free spirited. Like, you can't hold him down, you can't contain him in a box. And so he would be in trouble and he wouldn't care. He'd be like, I mean, she gonna give me a spanking and it's gonna be over and I'll be back outside like she told me not to go anyway. So that's why I'm like, even with for me with the spanking thing, it's like, for what? Because if that's all it is right there, what lesson did they learn? Right, never learned the lesson. They ain't learned the lesson. But if you would have took something, they would have felt it. You know what I'm saying? You want to take? I'm gonna take these privileges away from you. Mm-mm. No, because don't make me come up to the school now, and then you really gonna be embarrassed. Oh, they're 28 and 25. Oh my gosh. Oh, you got grown-ups over there. Uh, so what is that like now, Sheikah? Like having the adult relationships. Do you feel like you have to like temper yourself more? I know you say you cooking and stuff, but if whenever you get free, I'm curious because that's something that I feel like we all experience that transition from childhood into younger excuse me, adolescence into young adult into adulthood with our parents or whoever cared for us, prayerfully. um and then the transition and how that parent adjusted to you no longer being that child. So I would say for me, I felt like it took with my father, I didn't grow up in the house. Well, I'm sorry, let me read your comment first. Oh yes, I have them young, so it's definitely all about me now. Mama gotta have a life too. For real. Listen. mm, I remember when I first got out, listen, when I first got out the marriage, baby, I was living life when they was going for them weekends, okay? Going out on trips and, meeting new people, having friends. I was like, okay, mama living. But I sat my hind parts down, you know. You still a mom? Wait, do they have the GPS on you, girl? Do they got your location? Mm-mm. I just know my kid's gonna be telling me something good. Ma, you said you was at home, but your location say I know they be calling you out. It's your business. I'm going to see a man about a dog. I can't wait so I can say that. Mm-mm. But yeah, exactly. Right, like trying to catch you in the lie. Let me see if she gonna tell me where she really at, cause I see where she at. I'm telling you, these kids be funny. They be funny, but oh man, I really enjoyed y'all tonight. I'm so glad that I came on. I was like, let me just come on and say hi to my people. I'm gonna try to do YouTube as well, y'all, just because like I was saying earlier with the new rules and stuff for TikTok, even though I don't be like posting a lot of like my own personal content, I might come on live. I'm just like, ugh, I don't know what they're gonna try to do to use my likeness and all of this kind of stuff. So my YouTube is the same. It's also love_Rashida. If y'all want to subscribe to that as well, I would appreciate that because I might go on live on there sometimes too. I don't have as many like followers or subscribers, I should say, on YouTube. But that's a new, little baby project I'm working on over there. So I might go on live on there probably next week. But I'll come on TikTok first to let y'all know. Like, all right, let's go over to YouTube. But I love y'all so much. I'm going to shut it down for the night. Probably watch a little movie or something. Yes, please, please, please. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Anybody have any questions or last comments before I sign off? Okay. Oh, thank you. Yes, I had a good time with y'all for real. I'm like, it's gonna be chill like this. It's gonna be cool. Yes, thank you so much. But yeah, tune in. I'm gonna still try to come on Wednesdays just to keep it, like consistent. From when, I was going on with Scar. Um, just so y'all can know like when to catch me. So Wednesdays at 7:30. And we're just gonna be talking life and, family, anything we might be going through, just to try to encourage one another, okay? All right, love y'all. Good night.